If you want to see how to achieve this look and hear some confessions about things that I thought I'd never do, watch this. Today I'm going to show you how I do my go-to makeup. I'm going to use mostly high-end, but I have my love for drugstore, so every time I use a product I'm going to show you the drugstore equivalent so you can get the same face for much less. I've done my skin prep, I've done my eyebrows, 2 pumps of my Prada. I'm not going to use a sunscreen because I'm not going out today. I don't need it. I have got a surprise at the end, something that I said I would never do, and I've done it. Now this foundation I was never going to buy or use, but I did test it in store and fell in love with it. But normally I would use my 30-hour Lumi Matte by Maybelline. It's very dirty, sorry about that. Which is amazing. I've been using it for months. Just today I feel like using the Prada. Blend, blend, blend. As you probably know by now, I don't really do very much to my eyebrows. I just used a couple of strokes of the Brow Wiz to fill in some of the gaps, and then a bit of gel to keep them in place, and that's all I did really. I'm going to list all these products down below, both the high-end and the drugstore, so you can make a choice if you want to achieve this look. With this one I'm actually going to use my drugstore. This is the Maybelline Anti-Age Multi-Use Concealer in 115. I could use, if I wanted to, the Rare Beauty, but I'm not going. I've got quite dry skin today, so I've put a lot of moisturiser under my eye. Sometimes with the Prada, I don't actually use anything under my eyes at all, because the sales assistant tried it on me. She just extended it to under my eyes and it looked fantastic. So don't always, but there you go. There's a good drugstore if you need it. I also do like the Natasha Denona High Glam, as well as the Rare Beauty Brightener, but actually this kind of does the job of both. I've got a story about my eyes, the eye look I'm going to do today. I had a look at the new Pat McGrath, whatever it's called, it'll be there, and I realised that the colours are pretty similar to the Petal Morphosis palette, except that the pans are twice as big. They're tiny, tiny, tiny. I've actually got the Petal Morphosis palette, which I know it sounds really weird and kind of overprivileged, but I've never used it. I bought it way back earlier on in the year because it's quite special and I wanted to have it in my collection. Then I think I fell in love with Sigma quite quickly after that, so I didn't really use it. So this is what I'm going to use. I know you've all probably seen it time and time and time again. I'm going to stick with this and see what I can do with this. I'm probably going to use these 2 colours, that one there, the matte one, and then this one, maybe this one, because I'm in love with blues and greens at the moment, so I'm going to use that. I might pop a shimmer over the top, I don't really know. Look, I've even got that still on it. Weird. Right, okay, so what's the drugstore equivalent, I'm hearing you ask? Well, I absolutely suggest that you look at the Makeup Revolution Smoky Icon palette, which again has some neutral shades, some shimmers, some darker shades, and that is, I've used this a lot, and it's a good one. I'm going to use some of this Lunar Nectar all over my eye and into my crease using my Sigma brush, and I'm just going to stroke this on, and my usual trick of blending it up on the outside. Then with a smaller, this is a Real Techniques brush, I'm going to take this colour here and darken my crease. This is the Twilight Lilac. I'm taking the tiniest bit on the tip of my brush. I'm just going to place it in the crease just to darken up and give a bit of definition to my eyes. Again, all these colours are definitely near enough in the Makeup Revolution palette, and you don't have to spend a fortune, it's just that I did earlier in the year. And look, these are really huge, these colours comparatively. It's just amazing how slowly over time pans get smaller and smaller and smaller, and it's only when you look back and think, oh, does anybody remember Sue Devitt? I've had this at least 20 years. It's a very flat brush and it packs on eyeshadow like nobody's business. This is Divine Dawn, and I'm so excited to tell you what I've done. I feel like a naughty schoolgirl. It's the thing that I said I would never do. And after 3 visits to a store, I did it. With a very tiny Sigma brush, I'm going to use Nocturnal Blue. I'm actually going to use an angled brush. This again is a Real Techniques from. Same on the other eye, and a little bit on the outer half of my lower lash lines. There's a little trick I'm going to play at the end. It's my secret hooded eye liner wing hack, which I'm sure everybody knows about really, but I thought I'd invented it. Okay, mascara time. These are drugstore and mid-range, I think. This is the L'Oreal Sky High. This primer gives you a good base to start on. It's quite thin and it separates your lashes. This is a mini, and the annoying thing about this is the wand is so short that it's actually quite difficult. But I think if I like it enough and I buy a full size one, hopefully the wand will be a bit longer and I can manipulate it a bit better. There we go, it thickens up your lashes really nicely. Let me just see what happens if I try and add a second coat just to the outside, because this is where I want all the emphasis, is to be on the outside of my eyes. Not bad, not clogging, not clumping. Yeah, I am quite loving this. I'm just going back to my palette and I'm going to do my hooded eye wing trick, which is basically to add your mascara, because I never know where to draw my little flick. So what I do, and it suits my eyes, is I just follow and stamp the last lash. So there's my last lash, you see, and I'm just stamping a little bit there. And then once I've done that, I just fill in this little gap here between my eyelid and the flick, and that's it. You can wing it out even further if you want to, but I'm not going to do anything today that deserves a big wing. Cheeks next. Now I'm going to use Fenty, YSL and Rare Beauty, and actually I am also going to use some Maybelline. If you want to go totally drugstore, NYX bronzer, which I also use as a contour, and the NYX Buttermelt blushes. And if you want some, my equivalent to the Fenty is this lifter stick, again from Maybelline, practically the same colour. Just the luxury experience today. Don't know quite why. Maybe it's because I'm feeling a bit yuck because the weather, it being autumn, practically winter in the UK, always a bit depressing. I always try and push back my chin a little bit because my face is so long I try to shorten my face. It doesn't actually work, but makes me feel better. So that's Fenty in Mocha, which if you've been here before, you'll be saying it along with me. My blush combination these days is actually quite complicated. It's multi-layered. I've got all sorts of things going on here, so I'll just take you through it step by step. But it's the way that I like it, and it helps me to build up lots of different colours and textures. This is the Westman Atelier in Petal. So I use this as my base. This is the Maybelline Spicy Red Matte Blush, which is actually rather terrifying when you put it on your hand. There is a Rare Beauty that's very similar to this. I like this one better because I don't have to try as hard. But again, the Rare Beauty one is actually quite pigmented and quite red. Up there. And I'm not done yet. When I've done that, I will add a shimmer in Burning Blush, again from Maybelline, just on the top of the cheeks. And it is actually a blush, not a highlighter. But if you wanted to use something else, you can use the L'Oreal Lumi La Glace. That one's just as good. But what this does is it sort of blends into my under eye. So it's not too bad, but I'm still not finished. Once I've done that, I'll very quickly add a little bit of the, I know it's mad, isn't it? It's just stupid. A little bit of the YSL, because it's nice and blurring. And this is in 06. If I wanted to, I might use a tiny bit of this Rare Beauty. Look at that, very pretty. That's in the colour Grateful. Okay, now for a bit of highlighter, which is my Lisa Eldridge. I normally put this on under foundation, but actually I forgot. So that's the Elevated Glow. If you want a drugstore option, you can use the L'Oreal La Glace, which is that. It's really effective, really good price-wise. As I've got very dry skin, I very rarely use under eye powder. Do I need it? This is the question. No, you see, that's what's so amazing about the Age Eraser from Maybelline. You have to apply very little, but it's actually quite hard to over apply it. So yeah, so I would have used the Huda Beauty, but I don't need it. But a good drugstore alternative is this Makeup Revolution in Rose. It's very silky when you put it on, and again you just need the tiniest amount, but highly recommend, highly recommend. Final touch, bronzing powder. Again, you can use the NYX. I'm just going to use the tiniest bit just to set the Fenty Mocha. Just use that. As I said, you can use the NYX. The NYX is kind of like cream and powder at the same time. I don't know quite what formula to call it, but it's awesome. Then my finishing powder. This is my Sigma Bronzer in Light, because it's so light for me that I can use it as a finishing powder, and I do use it because it's so blurry. Right. Nearly there for the secret reveal of the terrible thing that I did. If I just move aside, you might actually get a bit of a clue as to what the hell I've done. I haven't seen anyone review this particular colour, so, which is why my, again, if you can guess, if you know me, you'll know that I'm a big red person. So here it is. So basically, if I was to spend, I don't know, £200 on various bits of makeup between now and Christmas, I decided to actually not do that and swap it out for, ta-da! Yes, it's the thing that I said I would never do, which is to buy a Louis Vuitton anything. It's gorgeous. It is gorgeous, and I got it because I've got such a collection of red lipsticks that I couldn't not get. Look. How gorgeous is that? And the colour is Rouge, I think. It's LV Rouge in the satin, because I have got quite a lot of matte reds and I love how they look, but they are actually quite uncomfortable after a while. So yeah, there it is. What's this? Oh, I know what this is. This is the they give you a pouch. It's got Louis Vuitton and the logo on the other side, if that's what rocks your boat. Doesn't really do much for me, but there you go. I'm now going to put it on, but I'm going to, as I promised, I'm going to tell you what my drugstore version is. And it's this gorgeous little thing, which is the e.l.f. pencil in Red Receipt. It's the best lip liner ever. And in fact, I've got quite a few of the e.l.f. lip liners. Nothing beats them. Absolutely nothing beats them. Maybe Lisa Eldridge, but I really like these. And it's so weird because this is probably 150 times more expensive than this, but actually you can put this on all over your lips and you get the same effect basically. Okay, so there's my outline done. I don't know why I've got this obsession with red lipstick. I think it's because I once went filming to Chanel in Paris, and I was met with an army of PR girls who all looked beautiful and French, and white shirts, black skirts, hair pulled back, hardly any makeup on, and a red lip. So as I was there for over a week, I kind of like thought I better fit in, so I did the same thing. So I bought a Chanel lipstick and, you know, whatever. Anyway, I got off the train coming home once I'd finished, and my now ex-husband said, "What have you got on your face?" And I said, "I'm just wearing like red, you know," because previous to that I'd always worn natural lip glosses or nothing really that amazing, because I never thought I had really good lips. Anyway, so he basically said like, "Oh, you look terrible, so get it off." So I never wore it again until we divorced, and we divorced because he was already seeing somebody else. So yeah, it sort of scarred me for life. But then as I reclaimed myself after I found out all the hideous things that he'd done behind my back, including walking our dog on a beach with this other woman, which was the worst betrayal ever. Yeah, so that's why I'm now obsessed with red lips, I think. If yeah, maybe. Look at that, isn't it gorgeous? Isn't that amazing? I get great pleasure out of using something that's so low cost, with something that's, you know, quite out there really. And yeah, so there you go. So that's my red lip story. It's very comfortable to wear. It's very satiny, and it's beautiful actually.